But I want to tell you a little something about my mother. She had dementia, and she was different than a lot of people who have dementia. Mom didn't try to hide it from me. She was very verbal about what was happening. And as we went along, she would tell me more and more about what she was experiencing. And at one time, we were driving along Antioch Road, and she said to me, "Mary Lee, I want you to promise me something." And I said, "Mom, anything you want." And she said, "I want you to promise me that after I'm gone, you'll help people like me because I think I'm going crazy." And I said, "Mama, you're not going crazy. Something's going wrong with your brain, and we're going to do everything we can to figure out what that is." But she said, "Well, what I want you to do is be sure that you take your teaching ability and you help people understand what's happening to me." So my mother was a woman who cared very much about this process.
What do we see all in capital letters? Do we see the person, and that's talking about the essence, the personality, the spirit, or do we see the condition, which is the dementia? And within the dementia, there is times they don't remember our names, don't remember we came to visit, statements like, "I haven't seen you in years, where have you been?" Those are times that the family sometimes gets a little wrapped up. And also visitors, because we kind of go through this thought cycle. We know we ought to go, but then there's the thought of, well, they're not going to remember it anyway. So why should I go? The day passes and then guilt sets in because, you ought to go, and you just kind of keep going in that cycle. The reason I just wanted to point that out is by focusing on the won't remember, we're only seeing the condition of a person. And that's what's so fun is searching for ways to zoom in on their personality and pull and draw that out.
We're going to talk just a second about mindsets. I was in Chicago not long ago, and there was a Dr. Leo Bernhoff, and he did a piece on mindsets, and it has stuck with me ever since. He said every one of us sitting in this room has an entire set of files in our head full of mindsets. Might be about people who are Baptists, or people who are Italian, or people who are a Democrat. We have mindsets about people. We have mindsets about places. We have mindsets about Canadians and Mexicans. So we have all these mindsets that are in there, and what they're made up on are our experiences, what we know intellectually, and what our prejudices are. So when I hit the world of dementia, I didn't have much in my mindset. I had a few things. But it was all wrapped around how sad it was and how awful, and wouldn't that be the worst thing in the world, and it was all that stuff. That's all I had in there. So what we have to do when we start to look at our mindsets, the neatest part about it is we have the power and the ability to change our mindsets just by adding new information. And that's what I hope happens here today as we learn new information about people with dementia. It helps us change our mindset about what we're capable and able to do to enrich their lives.
What we're going to do now is head into the direction of communication skills, because we talked about diving into that earlier. And what we're looking for are the skills that help us see what's below the surface. Because sometimes it is a matter of our ability to draw someone out. We have a responsibility in that. So to start this off, I'll just kind of point out the 3 characteristics that we seek in great listeners. Because truly, when working with people who have dementia, a high percentage of an interaction depends on our listening skills. So that's what we're going to take a strong look at. The first of these characteristics is acceptance. And acceptance is about silence and letting a person feel that they're okay with us, just the way they are, that we wouldn't want them to be any different. And that's a critical part of the listening process. The second is genuineness, and that's when a person feels that we're truly interested in what it is they're saying. And the third piece is empathy. Empathy is active listening.
I think we're more positive people than we truly are. The way I know that is Rachel brought home a grade card one day, and it was all A's except one, and there was an A-. And what do you think I said? Why did you get an A-? Yeah, what went wrong in sociology? Yeah. Instead of, this is a really nice set of grades. I saw, my eyes fell on the minus rather than seeing the positive. And so what I try to think about when we're dealing with people with dementia, more than any people on the face of the earth, they need to be hearing positive things. And so often they are hearing, you're doing it wrong, either in our facial expression or in the things that we say. And they need those compliments so very much. A withdrawal is often not even a thought about statement. It just happens. If you're ready to go out to dinner and someone says to you, you're not planning to wear those pants out in public, are you? What's going to happen? Never going to like those pants anymore. I heard someone say, I'd go change the pants. And what would happen to the rest of the evening? It's basically set in motion to go downhill. Because what happens when there's a withdrawal that big, we are changed psychologically. We're hurt inside. So we're either going to never wear those pants again, or at least hate them, or always remember that someone said you're not going to wear them out in public, are you? We're going to remember the withdrawals longer than we remember the deposits, oftentimes.
You know, it's a very life-changing thing. Knowing that I can communicate with them, and it, just like Rachel said, it doesn't have to be with words. You know, body language, facial expression, you know, inflection. So, I mean, it's such valuable human information.
The presentation was very enjoyable, it was very uplifting, very lively presentation, but also I think very thought-provoking. And they are presenting ideas and concepts that we'd be able to use in a lot of ways, perhaps even passing those on to people who are working in direct care with many of the folks who live in a nursing home setting.
The thing that I'm going to take with me today is that realization that every person that I talk to on the phone, every elder I work with, every family member has a story and has a life. It's not just that tip of the iceberg that I'm seeing, but it's the whole person. I love the laughter that this seminar gives, and that Mary and Rachel present, and help us to feel this topic in a new way and look at it differently.